This is when 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries. The After 5 Diaries.
Hey everyone, welcome to the After 5 Diaries, the podcast where we discuss real life, real jobs, and the space in between. Today we're discussing something I feel like everybody chases or rarely master: work-life balance. Whether you're answering meals at 9 p.m., you're skipping lunch because of back-to-back Zoom calls and Teams meetings, or you're wondering why your entire life revolves around your job, this episode is for you. We'll discuss what balance really means, why it's so hard to find balance at work, and discuss how we can strike a balance between personal lives and our work life without losing our jobs and mind at the same time. Let's get into it. And today to discuss this beautiful topic is Shanti. Shanti is a mom of two. She heads a team at her office. She runs her own personal business. Sometimes I wonder why she has not fitted. She seems to be having a hang of it. Like she has really got it. She knows what she's doing. She's still sane. She has not run mad. Hey, and she lives in Lagos. So I really need to know how she really strikes the balance between her personal life, her family, and her work.
Everybody, happy welcome, Shanti. Welcome to the After 5 Diaries, Shanti. Why are you covering your face? Fine, there. Alright, let's get into it. If you want to start simple, or maybe not so simple, what does work-life balance really mean to you?
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Okay, before I came here, knowing the exercise we have to do, so I did a little bit of research.
Sure.
Let me show you. Let me read it out for you. It says, work-life balance is the ability to meet professional goals without, there's a word, say, compromising personal well-being. So what I think is the ability for you to put in your all wherever you are. You are in your office, you give it your 100%. You are at work, your personal life, you give it your 100%. No compromise, no 50-50. Give it your all. That's what I think work-life balance is. But does it really exist? So before we came here, right, I had some conversation because I wanted to pick some people's brain before I come into this conversation, and I asked, what's work-life balance to you? And mind you, these guys are in their mid-40s, early 50s, and they're like, it doesn't really exist, really. That work-life balance doesn't really exist. Some said it doesn't. That one of them gave an example that he was traveling, he had an encounter with his MD, so they flew together from Lagos to the US. And up from the start, they left Lagos to when they got to their destination. The MD was working. He was busy. That is an MD.
Owner of a company.
And a multinational at that. Not just an entrepreneur. Not just an SME. I mean, a large corporate organization. Working from start to finish. So some people tell you that they are awake midnight researching, doing stuff. Really, they couldn't understand what that word or that work-life balance is. That you have to work.
So you guys, I don't think, of course, should we sit down and say work-life balance is a myth, right? We need to find this balance between work and personal life. Of course, even if you have to work back to back and everything, you still have to find a line in between. You still have to find a balance. And that's what we're really interested in today. Imagine the MD of a multinational working from, how many hours flights was that? He was on the phone all through working. And there was no time to even rest his head. MD of a multinational that should even delegate duties. That should be delegating to different people. Handle this. And I don't know if we can really find this balance, but we have to find it today. And you're going to tell us, we're going to experience this, and everybody will need to find a balance, strike a balance in their personal life and their work life in order to experience burnout. Now let's still get into the nitty-gritty while we're here. So do you think that in the middle of your career or in between your career, you've experienced full-time burnout? as to maybe your work really interfered with your personal life and you were really burned out and something really happened to you, it affected your health in a way. Could you just share your experience with us?
You dey wine. Of course now. I don't give you point in time in busy in the corporate world. You definitely have times whereby you'll be burnt out. You have times whereby you'll be like, I can't take it anymore, I can't do this. And some people use that line, I cannot come and kill myself. I'm sure you hear those lines out of being burnt out and all that. So I'll use myself an example. There was a time when I was heavily pregnant and I was working early days of my career. I was working. You know why? Because I needed to please my boss. I needed the promotion. I needed the money, right? I really gave him my all. And guess what? One day like that too, with my big belly, and that's how I found myself in the hospital. I came to work sane, and next thing, what happened? I saw myself in the hospital. What happened? I passed out. I was actually attending to somebody, a customer at that point in time, and I just passed out. Next time I saw myself in the hospital, and guess what? Doctor had to compulsorily, okay, madam, you must rest today. You are not going out. And guess what? The funny thing, you don't feel anything. You don't feel that word burnt out. You don't even understand what it is. You just feel normal.
So you don't know when you get to that point.
I think for some people they don't know. I think so. And I think at that point in time too, I was normal. When you tell me rest at that point in time, I just like, what is this person saying? I've slept. I'm ready. This is work. Give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So I'm in the office. Let me give to Caesar what belongs to him at that point in time. I don't understand.
I know you like work, Sha. Oh. You really like work.
It's our generation, no. It's not just me. It's our generation. The millennials, we know they agree. We know that.
Yeah, of course. So let's localize it a little bit. We're in Nigeria, and this is our case study in Nigeria. And maybe we can still bring it down to Lagos as well. So in Nigeria, do you think there's a balance here in this country? Because work-life balance encompasses everywhere that there is 9 to 5 existing. So but let's localize it. Do you think in Nigeria and in Lagos especially, there's something called work-life balance here, or we're just winging it?
In Nigeria, maybe. In Lagos and some larger cities, I doubt. You know why I say that? Because if you look at the counterparts in other states, I'll give for example East where I come from. The traffic. What is it like over there? You close at 5 or 6 o'clock, and in less than 20 minutes you are home. You can still go for parties. You can still go to the church activity. You can still hang out with your friends and gist. Yeah, in Lagos, people say yes, they can do that, or you go to all the clubs are all filled that and that. But what time do you wake up? I don't think there's any Lagosian here, well, in the corporate space or the corporate world, that don't wake up maybe on the average 4:30. Especially when you are married, you have kids. I'm not saying for people that live far from their workplace. I mean that you live probably in the same vicinity. 5, you are still awake because you have to prepare kids, you have to do this, you have a lot of things to do. So when you look at your counterparts as well in the other states, they wake up invariably what time? 6, 7. They still have time to go and work out before they get to. The hustling and bustling in Lagos actually has made it very difficult for corporate people to actually achieve or attain that work-life balance. So you see them in the office, they're really not in the office, and their personal life is having challenges and all of the personal life. Who do we blame? Nothing. So I just think that we are managing it, and you can't blame them. But it's just the ability to identify your stressors and find way to distress will help you.
Exactly. So what you're saying is that we're just winging it here. There's really no work-life balance, especially in Lagos. And there's no work-life balance in Nigeria, especially in
very
Lagos.
Difficult to get it, yes. But like I said, in the other part of Nigeria, I'm certain that they can get over it. My people in the east, maybe let's say, where would we say now? Let's look at the east, maybe Umuahia, Imo State. I'm certain they don't wake up as early as you do here in Lagos, and your work is from here to here. Like the same, like what time do you wake up? Even as far as even if you like have your chauffeur, have your chef, everything prepared waiting for you there, you just have to meet something. What about the bosses that send you mail in the middle of the night? They send you mail and you are compelled, you're under pressure to respond to that email. Have you thought about that as well? Maybe you're working like this, or you've logged out. Like now we have our emails on our phones, and next thing like this, probably you're in the bar like this, you're gisting with your friend, and next thing your phone beeps, you think it's one amebo gist like this, you pick up your phone
and it's work.
Call it. What do you do?
You're compelled to answer.
Right, and your boss has seen that you have read that message. What do you do at that point in time? When you now ignore it, it's like, she read my mail and she did not respond. What do you do at that point in time? So, it's difficult, neither here or there, but you just have to find a balance, yes.
Yeah, of course. And I know there's this badge of honor around this mentality around being busy at the office. You always want to be at the forefront of everything. They send you emails at 11 p.m. You want to answer because you want to show your boss that you're actually working.
You can't blame us. You can't blame us now. The appraiser is at stake,
right? You have to show.
You have to show up
so
now.
There's no balance.
You have to show up, because if you stay there like this now, your counterpart, you will see them, they'll be promoting them, they'll be moving, and you'll be like, who did I offend?
Mm-hmm.
You offended somebody, but maybe you didn't know. No matter how much you try to put, I close at 5. The work pays me at 5 o'clock. I signed the 5 to what they call that. I signed the 9 to 5 job. I'm done from work. My sister and brother, your appraiser is at stake. There's no how you want to say it. Your boss can be understanding, very understanding. But check out your appraiser comments. Check out the marks that they give you in appraiser. Then you check out those your colleagues that will stay in the office 7, 8, working, pressing computer, doing all that. Yes, ma, yes, sir. What did they get in the appraiser? When you look at those kind of things, the competition is real.
So what do we do? There has to be work-life balance because we need to avoid burnout. See, a lot of, like you just said, you passed out when you were pregnant, and because you were heavily pregnant, you were working your ass out. I have to use that word. I'm sorry, pardon my French. You were working your ass out, and you fainted. You had to be rushed to the hospital. So it's not the doctor that had to give you compulsory rest. And I'm sure you're not the only one who has been in that situation. So no matter how hard we think we work and we struggle to please our bosses, we have to strike this balance between personal life and work.
Yes. Then again, remember, when you're new in an organization, it's also important that you put in your best and show up. Now, when everybody understands and you need to take that break, they understand that you need to take a break. So I'll give, for instance, if your boss is the type that sends you mail at 7, 8 every point in time, and you respond, okay, there's something about acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Good. You acknowledge, you give a response, and you move on. Tomorrow, the most important thing is that she's not expecting that you deliver at that point in time, except it's very critical. At least you've worked in the organization, you know what is critical, you know what is priority, and you know what can wait till tomorrow. If you're able to understand those things, when you pick up your mail, you know what can wait. But your ability to respond and you've received it is a good plus for you. You may not actually necessarily get to do work. So these are balances that you put. As against, she did not see it. I don't know if she's getting into it.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, leave your views on what we're discussing per time. The Nigerian work culture is very intense, like really intense. Rigid work hours, you have to wake up at 5, close at 9, different hierarchies of people you report to, mails flying left, right, and center. I mean, where's the life in that? So that's why people had to introduce remote work. So now let's see, in this theory of work-life balance, people say it's a myth, but I do not really agree. We have to find a balance. If not, all of us will fail. We must find that balance. We can't kill ourselves with work, really. There must be a balance in it. So which brings me to remote work. Is it a curse or a blessing? Like with this whole work-life balance conversation, the introduction of AI taking our jobs. They said AI is about to take our jobs, so all of us will go and rest. So is it a blessing or a curse, remote work? Because I see some people saying that, remote work, I'm working from home, but there's no closing time when you're working from home. How do we strike a balance when the remote work comes into the picture?
Funa, this is a very difficult question, but I will try.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I am a corporate. So it's a bit of both. Some people find remote work flexible. Some people find remote work very difficult, or rather, will I say difficult. Disconnecting is very hard. By disconnecting, you know what I mean? You work on no break, no closing time, Yeah, so this is it. Some organizations just give you rules or policies and tell you that you need to put in 7 hours or 8 hours. Now, irrespective of the timing, meaning you can work 5 a.m. in the morning and clock out for 8 hours. Some mean you can start 7 a.m., you can start at 9 a.m., you can start at 12 a.m. That's the work culture. Another thing is having to understand where you work, the culture, the policies, and not abuse it. Now, some other people means that you have to resume at 8, you must be clocked in at 8 o'clock and give them your all. So that's where the problem starts. If it's a flexible work hours, it's perfect. I don't think anybody will have a problem with it. But you see those ones that tells you have to start by 8, and now coupled with the generation of people, different generation of people that we are working with, we have the millennials, we have the Gen Zs, Gen Z people, and we also have the Generation X, baby boomers, all of us in the same organization, and that's where the problem is now. So for organizations like that, what do? You have to see that you work when it's time to take your break time. Maybe like 12:01, you feel that, oh, I'm tired, you need to take your break. It becomes a problem. Maybe at that time your boss is calling you, they have fixed the meeting at that point in time. No structure, no balance at all. So what do you do at that point in time? So I tell people you need to understand where you work, how you work with these people, and probably put tools in place to ensure effectiveness for people to balance. But some of our organizations we work with, you don't have these tools. They just expect you to be available. So once you hear remote work, they expect you to be available 24/7. I'm a corporate, like I said, I lead a team, and so initially I had problems adapting to remote work. You know why? Because I expect that give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So when you have to work, it's work time. So you're supposed to clock in at 8 and close at 5. I don't want a situation whereby I'll dial your number and you are not going to. I send a mail and you don't respond. Don't give me that response as you should. I begin to assume. I begin to imagine. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. I work with some certain people that their mental health is always a problem. So it's very important to put those people in check. It's important to put those people in check. So, but after a while, I understood that they would deliver. Benefit of doubt. You have to give them. If they deliver their work as it should be, there's no cause for alarm, right? But sometimes we employees will take things out of control. You're working. Next thing, they're calling you for a meeting and you are not hearing siren, you are hearing downfall, you are hearing noise, you are hearing you are hearing put more. What in God's name are you doing? Are you in the office or are you actually doing your personal stuff? Those mails are waiting for you to respond to. So that's why most times people of our generation don't understand that remote work, or rather would tell you that no, I don't want remote work. You see them being very rigid when it comes to remote work. Then you see the Gen Z, they are advocates for remote work and their mental health at the same time. So they need to find the balance. We also need to understand them. These people, this set of people, we need to understand them, learn how to work with them, so that even you, that is their supervisor, your life will be balanced as well.
I want you to hold that thought on these different generations, because we are going to get into that. We're going to discuss how the approach of Gen Zs, millennials, baby boomers, the older generation, the approach to work, right? We're going to discuss. Just hold that thought. We're coming there.
All right.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.
There's this badge of honor around having a job, being busy. Every time someone hits you up, where are you at? I'm at work. Where else will I be? I'm guilty of that. I'm sorry. I have to we all badge of honor. Oh, I'm at work. Even during after 5, they're still calling you. Oh, I have a report to submit for my boss. Submit to my boss. I have to get this report done. This badge of honor, this pride that people have. I have a job. I'm working, but you don't know the work is actually eating into your personal life. You don't have a balance in your life.
We know those things.
And your job.
We know those things.
I just need to outline some of these signs that people need to be on the lookout for. Look out for that. Okay, really, your job is really taking up your entire life, your entire identity.
Before I get into that, sometimes we often use this work thing to tell a lot of lies or to escape from a lot of plenty things. You know that.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.
Okay, next will be no personal relationship. You check out your counterpart, you're missing in everything. Owambe, party, any form of out gathering like this, you're not there. It's also a cost per land. Then the guys also, men, sometimes once I've asked the lady out and she's gone to the place for our lunch or our dates, and she's now waiting like this, checking the time. Brother is keeping us waiting because brother needs to meet ends meet. He needs to be busy, you know. He needs to give you that impression, like we earlier said, that he's busy.
Yeah.
Bros, take out time from that work. Your boss that is keeping you in the office probably has time to go out with his wife or his girlfriend. You know, take out time from work as fast as you close from work. You know, honor that date per se. Can't be too busy every day. It's a special day, so just honor it, you know. Then next would be, have you been in a situation whereby you rest and you feel guilty?
I've been there.
You're sleeping like this, and next thing you wake up in the middle of the night, oh God, I've slept for too long.
I've been there.
That's a very bad sign, you know. You're even on leave and you're like, I must work. Without you, nothing can. That person, there's no balance in that.
Without
exactly, there's no balance in that one at all. Also, have you also been, any of your colleague or you, have you been in a situation whereby things that you like to do, you no longer fancy those things, you no longer enjoy those things? Maybe before now you used to take trips, you used to travel, you sit out with your friends, you watch movies, you know, little things you don't find. Even going out or taking a walk, you just don't find. You feel that there's no time for such things, you know.
You have deadlines.
Yes, I'm busy, I can't take a walk. If I take this 30 minutes walk, this will suffer, work will suffer, this report. Just when you have such kind of people, just as you begin to see the signs like this, you know that these people are actually victims of, you know, they don't have work-life balance, you know. Then also resentment. These things lead to resentment. You know, you're just unnecessarily bitter, unnecessarily angry. You fall sick all the time, you know. Person is always sick, or you are even in the sick bed. Some people will start telling you, I have a mail, and please. You know, there are some funny stories. You see people tell you that they were not feeling fine. Doctors would have asked them to rest or stay on admission, and they'll tell you they have meetings. It happens. Yes, it happens, right? And you know, something catastrophic happens later, and they're like, had I known, what would I have done differently? Those people, those actions are signs.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the part where you said, when you start feeling guilty when you take rest. I have a personal experience after I should share it. You know, not really like exactly personal experience or something, because sometimes when I feel guilty sometimes when I'm at home. You know, even especially when I'm supposed to be working from home, because my work is that flexible. We have days that we take off to work from home. I'm working from home, I'm supposed to be remotely working. And I'm already calling the office, what's going on? What's happening? Is he around? Is this? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? So I'm feeling guilty. Even sometimes when I feel tired, I'm fatigued, I need to call in sick or something. I feel like today I really need to take off from work today, because if I go in physically to that office, I could break down. And then maybe I call in my boss, is that magnanimous to say, okay, if work from home today. And I'm already feeling guilty. I'm calling colleagues, please, how far? What's going on in the office?
Let me tell you what the problem is. It's our generation.
What's going? I guess so. I think it's our generation.
Exactly.
Really.
You know, we prioritize loyalty over our comforts. That's it, as against the other
younger generation.
Yes. So there's something about loyalty. There's something about we can do it ourselves. You know, and also we don't even know how to delegate tasks.
That's the problem.
We carry everything. We take it up upon ourselves. Oh, we want to be the head, we want to be the middle, we want to attend all the meetings. You know, you want to be involved
in everything.
Everywhere. Exactly. You want to be involved everywhere. So those things, it comes with our generation as against the younger generation. I kid you not, the younger generation,
you know,
allow me. Exactly. I need to use the word. They cannot come and kill themselves. They cannot die. I'm telling you, they know the right thing to do. They will tell you there and there, this is not my portfolio. This is not my job description. This does not align with my job description. They will tell you. They are very outspoken, very expressive. Exactly. No need to battle it. So it comes with our generation. You're not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when you feel that way, just find ways to tell yourself, okay, I've given it my all. It's time for me to what? Take a break. And mind you, if you fall down today, the job
goes on.
Exactly.
That's the
so just remind yourself, especially in all honesty, especially when you're doing it genuinely, meaning that you are really, really down. You're not feeling fine. Your body is telling you, I need that break. Take that break. Listen to your body. I had a friend of mine. We went to school together, and next thing, very young, God rest her soul. And next thing I hear that she's passed out. What happened? BP.
High blood pressure.
Yes. what could have happened? You begin to ask some questions. Was she not checking? Why would a young lady at that age be going through BP, call it lifestyle? Sometimes all the stress happens to us and begins to bring out all these parts of illness that we cannot even control. So it's important we take care of ourselves. Our mental health is important as well. Once your mind is telling you, I cannot carry this, I cannot carry this, listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your mind, especially when you're the type that know that you put in your best.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's some people that they don't really care. Those ones, that's another topic for another day. But you know you put in your best and your mind is telling you right now, take a break, listen to your mind and take a break. Go on a vacation. When you're on leave, be on leave. When you're on leave, be on leave.
Yeah.
I know there are some arguments that say, oh, as a leader, you can't be on full leave. Yes, you can't be on full leave. But then again, be on leave. When you're on leave, be on leave. Learn to know when to, learn to know when to delegate your tasks and then other things that you need to do. That would also help us. You can do the supervision and work with
Absolutely. You know, there was a time when you mentioned this whole generation thing and the approach to work. I want us to just delve into that a little bit. The different generations that we have the Gen Zs, the younger people, we have the millennials, and we have the older generations, that's the baby boomers, the generation X, and the rest of them. So they have their different approaches to work. Like we, the middle generation, the millennials, how we take work is not how a younger person will take work, right? How older people take work is not how they take work. Do you want to like just tell me approaches to work in terms of loyalty and the rest of that? How does different generations take work?
Okay, now I'm going to use an example for today. When I started my career earlier, I'm the type of person that really like to put in my best when I work, right? And I know that I get such accolades, I get such comments. And then one day like that, we planned a party. And I have to give an example because I just don't know how to explain this. Just let me give a life experience and move on. Yes, I planned a party to do a birthday party, for a very surprise party as at that. And that day I came to work knowing that day I need to leave office as at the set time. I worked my ass, I didn't take any break. My lunchtime, I made use of my lunch time. Boom. And that's how after work like this, I carried my bag like this. We're heading out to work, go and party. And next thing I hear, where is she up to? When you go and sit down, your boss is in the office and you are leaving.
And I'm guessing this your boss is not a millennial.
Topic for another day. So I can't really blame her. You can imagine how she was trained as well. Imagine the people that trained that. Some people also, some generation as well, as in like our senior generation, the millennial X and the baby boomers, they don't understand what it is for you to leave your job before your boss. That's loyalty. You have to work. When it's time for closing, you wait. Your boss will have to go before you leave. Even if you don't have to. And guess what, that day I didn't have to do anything. I went back to my seat, sat down, I was looking at my system because I don't know my job. Yes. And I was cussing, I was angry, I was livid, but you couldn't do anything. Guess what? You can't try that to the Gen Z. Gen Z will tell you there and there, my time is up. The 9 to 5 I signed for is finished.
It's after 5 already.
After 5 already. You can't do anything. Exactly. You can't temper. They are very, very expressive. They know their rights. That's one good thing about them. Yeah. But people like us will need to be loyal. We're actually in the middle. We're in the middle, the millennials. We're in the middle. We know that we know what it is. We are the beginning. We are the ones who started this campaign for work-life balance, right? But then the millennials took it up from us and actually took it into action. So we have experienced what do you call that thing? Financial global recession. Our millennial, we have experienced it. Gen Z, they have not experienced anything. When we experience such a thing, you are stuck in a place whereby you like your financial stability and proof. You have the black tax waiting for you. You have bills to pay. You have the heads. and we're too focused on being a 9 to 5. Why the millennials, they believe in entrepreneurship.
The Gen Z is actually,
yes, they're freelancers most especially. So the 9 to 5 like this is always a problem for them.
Yeah.
So they believe in freelance, anything that's going to make them very rigid.
social media.
Yes, they make good money. So anytime you give them at one spot at every given point in time, they just tell you buy and move on. So I think that is where we need to improve in our lives. So I think this little experience made me understand that when I stepped into the position of leader, I just had to understand that you are doing what you're doing. Okay? Go enjoy yourself. That balance, so that tomorrow you'll be very productive. As against coming to work and you'll be squeezing your face, you'll be angry. They tell you to do something, you start grumbling. You know, help me, the work will suffer. Absolutely. So you need a happy colleague, a well-balanced colleague to ensure that the work will done.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better, Shanti. Thank you. So, as a mom, when I introduced you right on that, when I introduced you earlier, I said you're a mom of 2, you have a team that you lead, you run your own personal business, they have a lot of things. And I know you have a team that you lead in church as well. How do you do this? We need to know. I know you've been bringing it once in a while as to the approaches you've taken and all of that, but I just need us to outline it right now on how you go about balancing this whole thing, because I feel like you have a hang of it. You're really, really getting a hang of it, and I really, really need to learn and know how you do it. You wake up. I know sometimes I chat you in the night. You're up at 2 a.m. Shanti, when do you sleep? I check your status at 3 a.m. Sometimes I wake up to pee or to do something at night. You're already posting your business online. 3 a.m. Shanti. And then you have to be at work the next morning.
We're hustlers.
And then you have to tend to your kids and all of that. So how do you do it? I'm sure you prioritize your work, you block your time. Just give me a hint. How do you go about that?
Yeah, okay. I will use the word setting boundaries, but not as it may sound. Yeah. So what it means is that I give it my all during my work time, so that I can give in my all during my personal time. What does that mean? 9 to 5, you go to work, you put in your best. I'm very good at my job. 9 to 5 is my job. So the little time I have for my personal self, my kids, my family, friends and family, I am all there. Then again, I set boundaries. You know what I mean by set boundaries? I'll say no and I won't feel bad.
Absolutely.
But sometimes what we do, we can't say no.
Everybody can say no.
Yes, we always say yes, no. So if I don't feel too okay to attend that gathering, no, I won't be there. Don't bother. I will do the other things I can. I can send my love. I can send my greetings. Sometimes these weddings that we go to them, they don't need us there. They need the financial support.
Send it to them straight up.
Send it to them and they'll be very happy with you. Yes. Then again, what would you say? In terms of this thing, setting boundaries as well. When your ability to delegate jobs as well. You know the work that are priority. You know the work that you should handle as a leader. So you give your subordinates the other part, ensure supervision. And then again, when you train them very well, they will do the work like you. They will tend to replicate you. They will model you, and you will go to rest. Then again, it comes to schooling and other things. They're important, you understand. So you take short courses, the time. You can't be in school. You can't be in school all year round, right? So it's actually for a time being. You know that this thing is necessary and something have to suffer. Like when I started the course like that, if you notice, the business actually suffered. I reduced posting that much because I needed to focus on the course I was doing at that point in time. Yes. Then I don't joke with my hobbies, my exercise. I wake up in the morning, I don't joke with them. You know what those things do? They help me a lot. Because I know that when I exercise every morning, I feel ready for that day. I feel that there's this energy that comes into me. I don't joke with it at all. I don't know why people prefer evening exercise workout, but I prefer early morning because it helps me start my day very well. Early to bed, early to rise. Try and go to bed very early. I kid you not, even like wake up by 3 a.m. you'll be energized.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shanti. I think we'll take a break now. We'll come back, continue from those steps and those strategies that we need to take and we need to embark on to strike a balance between work and personal life. We'll be right back.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.
This is still the After Five Diaries, and I hope you're liking, you're commenting, you're subscribed to our YouTube, you're engaging ourselves and leaving your comments and ideas on things we talk and discuss per time. So before we went on that break, Shanti was giving us strategies on what to do to curb or to be able to balance our work life and our personal life.
Yeah.
So what struck me before we went on that break was you creating boundaries, learn to say no. Learning to say no is actually difficult. When she said that, learning to say no and creating boundaries without feeling guilty. The kind of person that I am, the kind of friends that I am, I feel very bad when I say no to people. Especially, okay, let's bring it down to work right now. How do I say no as for someone who is young in the office, someone who has a 9-to-5 job, and you're just starting your career and your boss calls you in the middle of the night or maybe very late at night when you should have time for your personal life and says, please do this. How can I say no in a situation like that and not feel guilty and not be scared of losing my job or getting queried?
I hear you. So now we have to apply emotional intelligence when we deal with these our bosses. So when you say set boundaries, learn to say no, sometimes we don't mean outright no. You know, there are times whereby you can send your mail on DND, you can put your phones on DND. Now there's something that Outlook even has. It tells you this mail you were about to send. To tell you the time that you're sending this mail after work hours. You know, those are ways that you
Outlook does that?
Yes, now. So those are ways that can tell you that, okay, this mail can give you a prompt to tell you that you are sending this mail after work hours. So you can set your emails in such a way that you may not receive anything until the next morning at 8 o'clock on the dot. You know, so those are things that you can do. Leverage on technology, you know. It's very important that you familiarize yourself with upcoming technologies. Familiarize yourself with AI. You know, automate tasks, repetitive tasks. You can't be doing things every day you're doing the same thing. Find ways to make your job easy, you know. Find ways to actually say no without saying no indirectly. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Then again, you can look at this thing, your relationship with people. See who you work very well with. Those things help. You know, when you work well with people, it has a way of ensuring that you're happy at work at every given point in time and ensure that things go well. In addition, communicate and speak up. You know, most of us, we die of silence like this, and silence is a very bad thing, you know. Speak up, you know, speak to HR. If there are structures that need to be changed or that needs to be effectively looked into, speak to your HR. You know, they have ways of looking at this in HR too. When people are going on leave, give them adequate staff strength, you know. Help get a replacement for these people, because oftentimes you hear that, oh, I don't have a reliever, hence you can't go on leave. Go on leave when you need to go on leave, you know. Take that break, go on vacations, go and spoil yourself, spend that money that you are sitting in your account is for next of kin. When you die like this, now nothing happens to you. Next of kin will come and sweep out everything. People that don't even know how you work for the money, you know, go on leave. Take that break that you need to take that break. Then again, be the change enabler in your organization, meaning that speak up for every processes that needs to be improved upon. If there are rigid hierarchy system, having you reporting to different bosses, you know that doesn't work well, or doesn't sit well with your mental health. Speak up as well. Then again, how many people are you working with? You see that this task needs more than the number of people that you are working with currently. It's important that you raise these things up to your HR and all. Don't take your exercise for granted or your workout for granted. You know, it helps you regain energy. It helps your creativity, even in the workspace. As you're working, take out time, 1-2 minutes, take out time to move around. It brings back that creativity. Have you ever been in such a situation whereby you're working and you just see that you blanked out, you can't remember anything, or you are not creative again? The moment you take a walk, you move around, within 5 minutes like this, you see ideas begin to come up. So it's important that you those are distressors. Important to stand up, take a walk around, come back, and you see that you have all the ideas you want to put down into your work. I think with these few points, you'll be able to achieve a lot. Absolutely. And be able to balance your work and personal life. Not all the one-bears that you have to go for, you know. Not all the church activities that you have to, you know. Not all the parties you have to venture into. So there are times you say no is no. And like I said, not outrightly saying no. So come up with something. So that's why some people have to use work. I'm working all the time. You know, so just find ways to distress. Take that break, sleep when you need to sleep. Go to bed early. Don't watch Netflix when you know you have to go
Instagram
to work.
reels, sending Instagram reels to your friends at midnight when
You
you
need to go to work. You are watching Netflix 11 p.m. about 12 p.m. Then you have to wake up Lagos like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I also think another factor that people need to consider is having to live near the office. I know that is going to cause a lot of financial constraint to a lot of people, but if you can, it's always important to live closer to your workplace so that you sleep more, you have more time for rest, and wake up at a very appropriate time for your mental health and go to work. But if you can't, you can get a driver. Inside the car, you can be sleeping. You know, I'm looking at the personal life now. You get a chauffeur to take you to work. If you have the money, get a chef. This is not the generation say I can cook. My husband wants fresh food, you know. I like fresh food. Get somebody that will do those things for you, you know. Pay them off and have your time. You know, pay for those things and have your time. Have your you time. Sometimes just chill, lie down on the bed, count ceilings. From there you sleep off. Those are ways to stress.
Thank you, Shanti. You have said so much. I hope you have said so much. I was going to ask you how companies can encourage work-life balance, but you just brought it in between. But do you think there's something else that you're missing that a company should do? Companies can help, you know?
Yes. There are lots that the organizations can do for their employees, and one of it is make sure that you take your leave annually. You know, before now, what used to happen is if you don't go on leave, you are being paid. So a lot of people would rather take the money and go on leave. Can you imagine? Tell me how productive you'll be. You work 365 days, okay, excluding public holiday, just because you want to take that money. So good thing they took that out like that, and still some people will not want to go to work. They will not want to go on break. So it's important that HR ensures that this is for. So towards the end of the year, identify people that haven't gone on leave. Send them mails and let them know that it might affect them in their KPIs, or it has a way of maybe reducing their salary. Something they should come up with something to make sure that every employee in your corporate space, goes on leave. Maternity leave too. I think 3 months is small for maternity leave. I also think the HRs can look into this and see ways to ensure nursing mothers are actually busy. You can have pre-maternity leave. So I watched a movie, and you know the boss was very gracious enough to lend somebody a pre-maternity leave, and I was like, wow, in this Nigeria. And the lady says, oh, she just has this thing for married women, and especially she found out that the lady was struggling to have kids. You know, that was the first of its kind, and it's one of the important things that HR needs to look into as well. Another thing HR needs to look into is team bonding.
Absolutely.
You know? Yes. Oftentimes when you tell colleagues to bring out money from their pockets, it's a problem. So HR should find ways of ensuring sponsor it maybe once in a month, or give departments some subsidize their outing for them, or the bonding exercise for them. And when it's team bonding, please bond well. It's not the time to call Nkechi and say, I notice you have not been doing well. It's not the time for that. It's the time to bond. When I mean bond, you know. Do something, go out,
remove every negative energy,
exactly. Bond with each other. You know, some organizations, they plan it in such a way, it's a big activity. They go outside their locations, especially when you're in Lagos. Try and leave Lagos. Leave it, go somewhere, get exposed. It must not be abroad. You can go to the next city, you can go to the next town. I was in a city in the east, and I saw some people there, and I was wondering, and they said they were doing team bonding. I left Lagos for a job, and I said, they're doing team bonding. Interestingly, and it was sponsored by the organization.
That's beautiful.
You know, yes. And also, when people speak, HR should listen. Manpower is another thing. You know, in the bid to save money for the organization, sometimes people talk. Employees talk, and HR will just turn the other eye. It's important that they look into that. Look at the manpower, the ideal manpower for that job, and see how they can approve it. If you know that they cannot automate that task or that job, you feel that the processes cannot be improved more than what it is, it's important to do adequate staffing. It will go a long way in helping people. It will go a long way. It will go a long way in helping people. It will go a long way in making people well relaxed, happy coming to work. Some people have this anxiety when it's Sunday like this. They begin to have panic.
For Monday.
Yes, for Monday. They're already under pressure. They
another
cannot
Monday.
see what the week is giving. You're saying things like another Monday. Oh, this. That is a red flag for HR. So, find ways to make sure that people coming to work are happy. Then you, for your personal life, don't go and bite what you cannot. How do you put that thing? Don't go and swallow what you cannot chew.
Or bite more than you can chew.
Manage yourself. Your salary is this. Don't go and be doing ojukokoro and be eyeing other things. That's another thing. You'll be under pressure. That's where I'm talking about the personal side now. We are done with work. Now the personal side, once you start beginning to have financial problems, you're already going to be burnt out. You're already going to be stressed. Don't go and live where you cannot pay rent. You want to stay in VI because Sharon is staying in VI. You are doing yourself. You know that you have black tax to pay. You know that you have tithes to pay. You know that you have school fees to pay. You are the one paying for all your generations their school fees. Take it, cut your coat according to your word, the cloak of the size. So there are things that you should put into perspective for both work and the personal life, so that you can be very balanced. You cannot be balanced exactly though, but you can at least have an average and more decent life.
Shanti, I don't know what to say. You said everything.
I hope I did.
There's nothing you did not cover right now. I'm sure everybody after now will know how to balance their life, your personal life from your work life. So I just want you to leave us with some final thoughts. Final thoughts for someone out there who's listening to us, who's feeling stuck in their job, who feels like they don't have a personal life. I don't have a social life. There's nothing. I don't have friends. My life revolves around my 9 to 5. I wake up early, 5 a.m. I'm in the office. 5 p.m. I'm out of the office. And then I take work home. I'm stuck. What thoughts can you give to this person? What final thoughts can you give to someone who is stuck in their job, who do not have friends, who do not have a personal life? Maybe you're single, you don't have a relationship, you don't work out, you don't do anything. You feel like your entire life is crumbling
around the workplace.
What advice you give to somebody like that who is stuck up?
Dear Nkechi, dear Emeka, you are not alone. Don't feel crazy. Don't feel that, after watching this podcast and you feel like, oh God, what is in it for me? You can be the change that you seek. Like I said, one of the strategies that be the change enabler. Look at your life, look at the things you want to improve on and start from it. I'll give an example. So for instance, let's assume the work has said you need to close at 6 o'clock, and on a normal day you close at 8. Start reduce it by 1 hour, 7 o'clock. When you are at work, be at work. That's another thing. By the time you finish loafing around, you have loads of work and deadlines to meet. So that period, you are now beginning to be under pressure. You get it? So when you are in the office, be in the office. Like I said. Then again, speak up. It's important to speak up. You have supervisors, you have HR. Continue to speak up. My dear, they may not hear you today, but they will hear you tomorrow. I'll give an example. There are things that we have told our employers to do, and they keep quiet. It's like they're not listening to us. Keep talking. Don't be silent. Keep talking. One day, out of nowhere, you'll just see that initiative, that suggestion you'll be talking about, boom, surfaces, and you'll be like, wow, what happened? So my dear, keep talking. Another thing is, tell yourself from today, I will sleep at XY. If you sleep at 11, tell yourself, I will start sleeping at 10. Start from there. Start reducing the time. I will sleep at 10. You will see how many hours you will cover. If you're the type that don't do exercise, just taking a walk on Saturday, let's assume you wake up early in the morning before you get to work and all. Taking a walk, 30 minutes walk on Saturday will do a whole lot. Start from Saturday. Proceed to Sunday. Little exercise. You must not jump. Even in the office, stand up, take stretches. I applaud my organization. I would like to say it. There was a time we had the exercise month, and for one full month, we were exercising at the office. You know what they do? At 12 o'clock, exact 12 o'clock, you stand up and you stretch. We had a
That's
champion.
beautiful.
We had a champion that led that exercise. Initially, people were like, what is this? In the office, I kid you not. We had a lot of people were like, I notice I can't move my hand this way again. Oh, Jesus, they can't even stand like this. It wasn't a joke. Oh. And after that day, people started taking their exercise, their workout, their health seriously. So look at yourself, look at areas that we have discussed here that you need to improve upon, and start little by little. Start with that D&D after work hours. Check out that meal, prioritize your meal, which is important. Like I said too in our conversation, you have to understand your work culture. You know what is important and what is less important. That less important email can be what responded to the next day. If it is not a do or die, it's okay to acknowledge the mail and move on. Go for that girls' night. Go for that all guys outing. Go for that team bonding. Go for that beach party. You don't have a relationship. There's somebody that has been looking at you. Say yes to that person. Go on a date to that person. Nothing will happen to you. They will not kidnap you. Who kill you? In this Lagos, nothing will happen to you. Go out. There's a boy on your phone that has been chatting you since. Give me time. Look at your calendar. Free up space for that person. Start with it. It's not okay. Don't worry. Another person will come. Do you understand? When you go for dates like this, you go back home feeling happy, feeling empowered. Somehow, my gender, these things now. You know how we do it. You just go start reminiscing like that. You see that you become relaxed. You will not be angry unnecessarily. You will not be a bitter soul.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.
And to everyone listening, I want to leave you with a charge today. Try logging off at 6 p.m. every day for the next 2 weeks and see what happens. The world won't end if you take that pause today. And if something happens to you, your job will continue, you'll be replaced the next day.
Absolutely.
So balance your life today. Take your personal life serious. Know the difference between your work life and your personal life. I hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel, The After 5 Diaries. On TikTok at The After 5 Diaries. And on Instagram at The After 5 Diaries board. I love you guys. Till next time, please stay sane and let your life be balanced. Bye.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.